As you can see, this is the title of a fight against knowledge fragmentation. So the question is, how to fight against knowledge fragmentation? And the answer is another question. How to shape a big history-friendly substrate to implement the BH678 format. Yeah, it's cut. But BH678 is the how we can imagine big history for middle school, in Italian middle school. BH history 678, they are the years of middle school. So working on 3 layers. No, it doesn't work like this. Huh? So. Yeah. Yeah. Stavo guardando se con l'ingrandimento risolvesse. So, okay, we have 3 layers, and physical layer that is related to buildings, school buildings, spaces, interior design. Mental layer that is connected with brains, in particular teachers' brains, and then teaching that is connected with the curriculum. Yeah. If you think these are 3 kinds of architectures. Yeah, I don't know. Because I have to do for each.
Yeah, if you, does anyone know how to change the font in one fell swoop?
Okay. Let's try the next. Yeah. Okay, so this is the school. This is middle school, Italian middle school. No, we don't have these beautiful lockers, but we have boxes. You know? Everything is fragmented. Time is fragmented. Space are fragmented. Curriculum is fragmented. Subjects are fragmented. Mental brains of teachers' brains are fragmented. So we have fragmented entities, fragmented factors, walls, borders, fragmented fears, and we usually present part, and not the whole picture, and not the whole fresco. And this is the problem. Oh, it's okay if we want, if we aim this kind of student profile at the end. A schizophrenic, because students have to confuse reality, in-school reality that is linear, that is fragmented, and the out-school reality that is complex, that is holistic. And so, and then fetishist, because he has to confuse the part with the whole. And not only this, he has to love each part and repeat this love for each different part. So, if you think, I don't like this profile, yeah. But if you think like me, I'm sorry for the slide, but it's not important. So, if you think like me that reality is an hag of complexity, so we have to find. To bring these things, we have to bring these things into education, into schools. Complexity education, an holistic approach, a systemic thinking. Yeah. And so, from where can we start? We can start from this, from read something. For example, when you read, the key word is interpretation. And so I start with the Icarus story. So what's the moral of Icarus story? It could be careful, don't fly too high. But Stanley Kubrick talks about another moral of this story. So forget the works and feeders and do a better job on wings. I prefer the number 2. And when I choose the number 2, I'm kidnapped. By what? By a donut. That in Italian sounds ciambella. Yeah. So remember ciambella, it's important for our story. I fell in love with this kidnapper, with my kidnapper, and I feel a real concrete Stockholm syndrome. And what should I understand during my pre-journey, yeah, well, what should I offer to my students? Thanks to the love of ciambella. It's not strange. I have to offer learning environments. Okay, what the meaning of learning environments? Offer each student the possibility to express his or her maximum potential. Okay, it sounds good. It seems right, but incomplete, said Russell Crowe in the film A Beautiful Mind. He was talking about Adam Smith. Yeah. Because why? Why is incomplete? Because learning environments are not only for students, so we don't have to think in this way. We have to create not student-centered learning environments, but Homo sapiens-centered learning environments. Why? Because we have to. We don't have to play together. We have to feel together. All the Homo sapiens in school. Where can I find some learning environments, this kind of learning environments? Brian Eno, the musician, the composer, talks about Senius. What is Senius? Senius is something like a collective genius, and is something that an ecosystem that becomes where it becomes possible to have an idea and to enjoy this activity, the thing that you had this idea. Brian, you know, okay, here, I try. Yeah, if you read it at the bottom of the page, where can erupt Senius? Erupt almost anywhere, at different, in a corner of a company, in a neighborhood, in an entire region, maybe in a school. Yep. Ooh, this idea is so lovely, Paolo. But how to transform a school into a Senius? Yeah. It is necessary a deep study of what? Of the Ciambella's factors. What are the Ciambella's factors? The hole, the duff, and the cooking time. So we have 3 Ciambella's factors, the hole, the duff, and the cooking time, that are working on 3 layers. A physical layer, a mental layer, and the teaching layer, remember at the beginning. So let's start with the first factor, cooking time. Cooking time is related to teachers' fears of change. It's quite bad, it's quite sad, but most of the teachers hate changes, hate evolution. And so it's bad because they should teach to love changes, to love evolution. So cooking time is a focal point. It's also related to cooking time, my personal research of the perfect school principle. Yeah. And maybe King Julian of Madagascar is a good model for this. The second factor is the DAF. So that means, what are we going to study in a Senius? What are we going to study? And we have two words, languages and big history. Languages, we have math language, and then Italian language, grammar, and then foreign languages. All the other subjects belongs to a big corpus, cultural corpus, that is big history. How to describe these seniors, this school? You know Miss Van der Rohe, Fansor House. As you can see, we have beams and pillars that are the languages, and then big glass walls that are big history. So contents and skills are in languages, and they becomes competence when they go on the stage of big history. That is the moment in which knowledge approach to complexity, so to reality. So let's turn on BH678 according to. Okay. Let's go. According. Okay. According to. Yeah, it's on Montessori, everything. The power of Montessori education, yeah. Blackout. So listen, it's 6 o'clock. Sorry.
Can you do it from memory?
Yeah, I have it. So according to Montessori, no, yeah. Same. So according to Montessori, that thinks that the main principle of the education is a correlation among all the subjects, yeah, that finds their center in the cosmic level, yeah, and also according to Leonardo, that thinks that when you are on that glass walls, yeah, and you can learn how to see, and you can realize that everything connects to everything else. And also according to the Italian National School guidelines, we have a chapter in this document that is called For a New Humanism. So according to Leon Battista Alberti and that tradition, we have a new list of thresholds. I think we need in middle school 3 new thresholds, 3 new introductory thresholds.
Sorry, just to let you know, there was a power outage. They are recovering in a few minutes.
Okay.
It depends on you if you want to wait or you can go home. It should be done in 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay. So I can go on. If you listen to me, yeah? Are you okay?
We can listen.
Okay, so we have 3 new thresholds, 3 new introductory thresholds. The first is 0A, and is dedicated to the encounter with reality. Because what is the problem? What is the problem? I can't explain the evolution of complexity to the pupils, to the students, if they don't know what complexity is. And so, they don't understand complexity if they don't have an idea of diversity that compose complexity. And they don't recognize diversity if they don't encounter, if they don't meet reality. So it's necessary to dedicate 3 introductory thresholds to these 3 points. The encounter of reality, the things that exist, the fact that things exist, and it's not bad. So, and the second one, the 0B threshold, is dedicated to diversity. Also, cultural diversity and the natural diversity. And then, what's the life of these things, of the points of diversity? They bring together, they are connected, and so they create complexity. And that is, what is a system? What is a complicated system? What is the difference between complicated system and complex system? So these are important topics for these pupils. And then we can start with a long series, the long list of thresholds, big history threshold, traditional big history threshold. Yeah, okay. And now, okay, now the image was important, but we can imagine together. We can imagine together. So what's the structure of BH678? Imagine a chain of big circles, yeah? Okay, these circles are the thresholds. And then, okay, and then around each circle, we can have a, yeah, perfect, thank you. We can have,
much better with you.
yeah, it's quite fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Let's switch off.
So, no, okay. And so we have big, so, well, also the sound. We have big circles, no? So they are the thresholds, and they are connected in a unique storytelling, yeah? The red line is a unique storytelling, and then around each of these circles, we have clouds of thought exercises that comes from the different subjects. So we can imagine the big circles like pools of mystery with philosophical questions at the beginning, yeah? And then we have clouds of thought exercises activities, yeah? That works on different points of view, but on the same keywords of the threshold. For example, threshold 0B, you can see the clouds of activities, thought exercises. I prefer thought exercises and not activities. Yeah? They comes from humanities, they comes from STEAM, from geography and history, from arts, from travels or activities with the language, foreign language. And so the student dive into this threshold, this pool, and then try to find some tracks of answers thanks to the thought exercises. So if we mix the syllabus, that structure, the syllabus, the form for exercise of thoughts, the form, this is the whole picture of the exercise thought form. The teacher's form to editing the activities of each threshold. The student's independent working form, plan, yeah. And the liberalization of space and time of learning. And the tests on demand. If you mix everything, you have a good idea of the depth of BH678. And then the third factor, the whole. The whole is an important factor. It's related to space of freedom, of autonomy, accountability. And so you have to create and to preserve empty spaces. Because in open spaces, in empty spaces, students have the possibility to climb, to choose, and it's from freedom that autonomy grow. And so these are examples of connection spaces between school and families, and between teachers, and This is our agora. It was like this, it was caring, and now it's like this. It's a learning space, it's a workplace. But why the whole? Italo Calvino says that there are two ways to escape suffering. The first is easy for many: accept the hell and become such part of it. The second is risky, demands constant vigilance and apprehension. Seek and learn to recognize who and what in the midst of the hell are not hell, and that make them endure, give them space. So that's why the whole. What is not hell? I think Homo sapiens is not hell. Our students are not hell, and they need the space, because they are like skyscrapers. They need the space to climb to the infinity, and we have to remind that each skyscraper climbs in his way, in his own way. That's the beautiful things of skyscrapers. So we are not made for boxes. And Mark Rothko, you know, the artist, the painter, says that what is necessary? It is necessary to paint in a large scale, because if you paint a small picture, you put yourself outside that experience. And when you paint the larger picture, you are in it. So it isn't something you command. So this is big history. Something that is intimate and human, if we do that in a large scale. So thank you.